Before we get started with the Rob Zombie episode of the Killer Countdown, we here at Backlot 605 send our condolences to the family and friends of Sid Haig. Haig passed away on the night of September 22nd at the age of 80. Sid worked in the film industry for nearly 60 years, with his most notable role being Captain Spaulding in Rob Zombie's Firefly trilogy. This episode is dedicated to our crazy clown captain, Sid Haig.
Welcome to the Killer Countdown. Each episode, 2 contestants will count down the greatest horror films of all time. The 2 will collaboratively create a top 8 list of that episode's topic. Join the Killer Countdown if you dare.
Welcome to the Killer Countdown. I am one of your hosts. I am Casey Kelderman.
And I am the other host, Ginithan.
That he is. He is the other host of the Killer Countdown presented by Backlot 605. We are the horror-themed podcast. And Blake, today we're going to have a fun episode. We're going to go ahead. We're going to dig through the ditches, burn through the witches. We're going to talk about Rob Zombie movies. Wow. I've been waiting to say that since...
Wow. I'm impressed. I am impressed.
I've been waiting to say that opening line. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I'm going to pat myself on the back.
Yeah, I've been coming, I've been digging in the dishes for years, so I wish I had come up with that, honestly, but I'm impressed.
Yeah, I'm excited to do this. This is going to be a very fun... I say that every time. It's going to be a fun... It's always a fun episode, but I legitimately think this is going to be the craziest one we do because I have no idea what your thoughts are on any of his movies. Okay. And I don't think you know my thoughts on over 50% of them.
I have 2 absolute standout favorites that should be near the top, or should be 1 and 2. But
before you get that, you want to go ahead. You wrote down these awesome rules. Do you want to go ahead and spew those off? So if this is your first episode listening, first of all, thank you for joining us for this. We maybe have some new listeners because, there is this little Rob Zombie movie that just came out, 3 from Hell. So we're going to be doing that as this is a kind of a companion piece to that, I think. Yeah. Rob Zombie is not sponsoring this at all.
No, not at all.
If you are listening, Mr. Zombie, please sponsor our show.
Yeah. So Killer Countdown is a podcast where 2 or more players engage in a cooperative and cutthroat game where definitive lists are created based upon topics within the horror genre. We try to get people on to horror nerds to come on and duke it out, and for the most part, it's you and I who do this. We love doing it. Yeah. But our next one that we're recording, we'll have some new people on. And that's gonna be a lot. Casey and I are gonna be completely hands off. For the most part, Casey and I, in some way, partake in each countdown, but the next one we'll be completely hands off for that one.
Yeah, we'll be hands off for that one. We'll talk about that at the end of the show. We'll give a nice little plug to that. But Rob Zombie movies. Let's kind of start off with that. By the way, I love the rules. They're great. Oh, especially the cutthroat. Okay. Because killer. I like it. Yeah.
It's not. There's no drag burn through the witches. It's something.
So Rob Zombie movies.
So I'm a little bit older than you are. So I didn't listen to White Zombie, but when it came on the radio, I really dug some of the singles that were playing. And then I bought Hellbilly Deluxe, his first solo, and I loved that album. I understood immediately what he was going for with his vision for that album, and I really enjoyed it, and I still do to this day. And in terms of filmmaking, I was there opening weekend when House of 1,000 Corpses came out, so I saw it the first weekend, and the same thing with Devil's Rejects. I wasn't a horror fan back then. It was one of those things where it was nice to see not a sequel or a big budget movie in a multiplex. So I went and saw it, and that's where I began, and then I sort of tapered off with his other ones. I really didn't go out to see. I saw pretty much everything else on home video. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me, I never grew up on Rob Zombie, like you said. I'm a little younger than you, but I began into his music because of my fiance. She loves Rob Zombie.
Yeah,
She has
yeah.
a huge crush on him.
I
as
saw
well.
him when he was here in concert a couple months ago.
Yeah, I'm super jealous of that. We wanted to go, but yeah, whatever. Life.
Yeah, life happens.
Life
it really
happens.
does. Yep.
But yeah, as far as his filmography goes, the first one I watched was Halloween.
Okay.
Because it had the name to it. Obviously, I
Yeah.
was a fan of the original series, and of course, I'm going to jump into the next thing that was in that franchise, and that was Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 and 2. And yeah, from there I kind of caught corpses and rejects here and there, but I finally finished his filmography literally in preparation for this. I watched.
As did I.
Okay.
So
Yeah, so this will kind of segue into our recent watches.
yeah.
But I won't say which ones
Okay.
I just recently watched. But in preparation for this, I did watch at least half of it.
Okay.
His movies.
I will say, I know we talked about it last night. I was able to see that final movie of his.
Okay.
I did see it.
All right.
Yes.
Sweet. We'll talk
Yes.
about it. But
Yes.
let's jump into those recent watches. We
Yeah.
like to bring out, maybe some things that we're watching besides stuff that's in preparation for this.
Right.
And,
Right. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. The first one I can talk about, I watched on Shudder. Both of mine will be from Shudder that I found. The first one I watched was a recommendation from you.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is Society.
How did I recommend this to you? I don't remember. How did I?
I don't remember
Okay.
either, but I remember you. Oh, it was you. It was in our group. We have a group chat with the rest of the Backlot guys, and one of them asked what they should watch on Shudder, and you had mentioned
yeah.
Society. I'm like, yeah, I haven't seen that yet
Yeah.
either, and
Yeah.
yeah, I popped it on, and what was my initial text
You said
back
something about this movie is a underseen masterpiece or ahead of its time masterpiece or something. I can't remember what you said.
Anyway, I called it a masterpiece.
Masterpiece was in the sentence. Yeah.
This movie is a masterpiece. Society, 1989. Man, the way I describe it is as if David Cronenberg and Jordan Peele had this fucked up baby.
Yeah.
Is the way I looked at Society, and it's about this teenager boy that discovers that his family is part of this underground society cult of the social elites that are just feed off the
Don't give
lower
away too much.
the lower class.
Yeah.
Basically, it's I don't want to give like you said, I don't want to give it away because I knew nothing going in. Just
Yeah. It's best to not know.
Yeah.
Too much about this movie, other than the ending is absolutely wild.
Yeah, it is. I went in the frame of mind with that this is just going to be a grotesque picture.
Oh, so have you seen the
I didn't watch any
or
previews.
anything?
I just saw there's just a single image when you look up Shudder. There's an image behind the poster.
Is it of like the face or whatever?
It's
Okay.
just a
Yeah.
which is fine. It doesn't spoil anything
No.
out of the movie, and I'm
No.
like, okay, it's going to be this grotesque film, and it's so much more than that.
Yeah.
There's so many underlying themes. Also the suspense in it, the mystery of it all, what is actually happening.
Yeah.
It is.
I've only seen it
perfect
one
film.
time, and I honestly I didn't really care for it too much.
Okay.
But it's one of those movies where I still want people to discover because it is such a. I feel like even to this day it really hasn't even been replicated or even referenced or picked upon for a different movie. But I remember it pretty well, and I remember like the movie does a very good job of like throwing you these little hints that just something is not right.
Yeah.
And then the ending like just sticks it dives in full bore into what it's been
setting up,
teasing the entire time.
Like I said at the beginning, it's Jordan Peele is obviously a really hot name right now. Everybody talks about the genius that is Jordan Peele, and I do think he is a film genius. But I think something that his movies are not necessarily missing, but are underdeveloped, is the use of like the bonkers third act. This is a horror movie. Yeah. Because Get Out doesn't really have that. It doesn't go full gore or full.
Yeah.
And Us, the same thing. There's not a whole lot of gore in it, especially compared to other films. And then this movie, that ending is bonkers off the fucking wall.
It's
And the reason I bring up Jordan Peele is because this movie it's
saying something.
It's saying something. It has something to say. It's about upper class and lower class citizens. It's basically very similar to what Us was trying to say,
It still feels pretty prescient today, actually.
And that's what I was going to get to, is that if you watch this movie today, this is going to hold up just as well as it did in 1989.
Yeah.
And I wholeheartedly want to watch this just right away again. My fiance was kind of watching in and out, and I'm like, you need to watch this movie after.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
because she didn't get to the ending. And I'm like, the ending is just nuts. You have to watch it. And Society, highly recommend. As I said, I do think it is a masterpiece.
I'll talk about it in a little bit later, but Brian Usna knows how to end a movie.
Yeah. So
for sure.
Go ahead with
all right. One of the movies that I watched was a Brian Usna movie, Bride of Reanimator. I'm gonna piss some people off. I don't really care for the original Reanimator. I know. I've seen it.
I respect your opinion.
I've seen it 2 or 3 times, and it's one of those things where I don't connect with it. It's the same thing with John Carpenter's The Fog. I do not connect with the movie. And for some reason I had seen Beyond Reanimator, the third one that came out in the early 2000s, and I thought it was okay, but I'd never seen Bride. And then I was scrolling through Amazon Prime, which I think has an underrated horror section. And I was like, I'm doing this. I started watching it, and I was really into it, and I really think Jeffrey Combs has created, I think, a really underrated horror icon that does not get mentioned in the likes of
Dr. Herbert West.
Yeah, he's so good.
See, he's what makes the first Reanimator so great in my head. As much as I love all the crazy stuff that's going on, and the effects are fantastic.
Yeah.
It's his performance that really holds that movie together.
People talk about the effects of the first one and how good they are, and they are very good. But where the third movie, have you seen this movie at all?
I haven't seen either of the sequels. I know
where Bride goes to at the end, is, I mean, maybe Cronenberg must be some sort of inspiration for Usna, because there's so much going on with creature effects, and there's one sequence I want to talk about, and I really wish I could, but it is spoiler territory, where a certain character in the movie finds out that she is not loved, and she literally rips her own body apart. And just the effects of how the whole thing breaks down, I was applauding. I stood up and applauded. It was incredible, and I could not believe how good this sequel is. I think it's way better than the original Reanimator.
I need to go into a deep dive of his filmography after this, because I have it pulled up here. He did Society and Bride at the same year.
Yeah.
89.
Yeah.
And I think just going through his filmography would be super interesting to look at.
The Dentist is really good as well. I really like the Dentist.
Yeah, I'll have to do that. Yeah. Especially those Reanimator sequels. I haven't watched them, and I've seen the first one at least 4 or 5 times. And I love the first film, and I've heard great things about the sequels, including from you. So I'm excited to watch them.
Very cool.
The other one I have is another Shudder film, Tigers Are Not Afraid.
Ooh.
So I watched this.
Tread carefully, because I have not seen this yet.
I will. Directed by Issa Lopez. It's set in modern day. It's this dark fairy tale about these group of kids from Mexico that are just thrown into the drug war that is actually happening in our real world right now in Mexico, and they're just thrust into this terrifying and unforgiving world. And when they say dark fantasy fairy tale, it is that. It feels very much like an early Del Toro film. Everybody's saying that, but it literally feels like that. Like Del Toro could have made this movie in the 90s. And I really, I don't know where I was going with that, but I thought it was great. I thought it tells this dark fairy tale very well. The performances in it by the kid actors are great, and that's hard to find.
It is.
Especially in a foreign language where they might not have a whole lot of acting experience. These kids are fantastic in the movie. It does not hold anything back by having kids as the lead at all. And I would go in without knowing what's going to happen or what the overall themes or what it's all about. I would just go in blind, knowing the basic plot, and just go in from there. The cinematography is beautiful, and the overall landscape of the story is fantastic. So I highly recommend Tigers Are Not Afraid.
Very cool. I think when I get my Shudder subscription for October, that's gonna be one that I watch along with the 2 Hell House sequels.
Yeah, I recommend it. but go in with the fact that this isn't really a horror movie.
Okay.
It's a dark fantasy.
Okay. Is it scary?
No.
No. Okay.
No, it's not scary.
Okay.
It's wholeheartedly a dark fantasy, which
Okay.
I think that and horror are very
Yeah.
close. They
yeah.
they intermingle quite a bit. Yeah, I recommend it. I kind of relate it to like what people thought of Crimson Peak from Del Toro a few years ago.
Okay.
Where everybody's like, "Oh, it's a horror movie. It's about ghosts in this house." No, it's a gothic romantic fantasy.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that movie.
So did I. So yeah, what's your?
I'm just gonna go quickly through the ones that I watched. I watched The Innocence, which is considered like Scorsese has it on his like top 10 scariest movies ever made, and it's considered a classic. And I thought it was good. I thought it was really good. There's some stuff that really I found myself checking the time left a lot, and I feel bad, but I could not get into some of it. However, for the early 60s when it came out, there's some terrific cinematography in it. The way the camera moves through the house as Deborah Kerr, the lead actress, plays hide and seek with the kids that she's watching. Oh man, there were some really, really terrifying sequences, but overall I thought it was just okay. I also watched Jim Jarmusch's The Dead Don't Die finally. I'm not a terribly big Jarmusch fan, but I respect him a lot because he has his own thing and he does it really well. I was really surprised. I sort of loved The Dead Don't Die. It's a zombie movie that it's hard to describe without really getting into spoiler territory. It really I don't want to say it makes fun of horror movies, but it really plays on the tropes of the genre, especially zombie movies. And the ending is incredibly nihilistic, and that's nice to see sometimes from studio movies. And really quickly, I rewatched Night of the Living Dead on the Criterion Channel, and that was really good. It was nice to see that again. I'd forgotten how that movie ended in a certain way.
Okay.
I mixed up. I knew the twist at the end, but I, for some reason, thought it happened at a different part of the movie, or the place of where it happened.
You can spoil. I think you can spoil Night of the Living Dead.
For some reason, when is it Dwayne?
Dwayne Jones.
Dwayne Jones is murdered. I for some reason thought that he was killed when they were getting gas for the truck. I don't know why. Maybe those two scenes stand out for me, and I just got them mixed up. Mm-hmm. But man, this is a classic for a reason. You know, it still holds up today.
Yeah, I just picked it up.
Yeah,
I picked up the physical copy of what you
Blu-ray.
watched. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I want to jump into it. I have the day off tomorrow. I might just spend an entire day just digging through everything on that Blu-ray.
Have you seen Dawn and Day?
I've seen Dawn. I've not seen Day yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like Day a lot.
Yeah.
And then the last movie I watched is not technically a horror movie, but it's made by some horror directors, and it has some elements of weirdness to it. It's called Let the Corpses Tan. It's on Amazon Prime. It's a very unique movie, very the very singular vision. I would recommend that as well if you're looking for something that is completely out of bounds from what 99% of movies that are getting made these days are.
Yeah, I got one more to bring up. It's not a movie.
Do it.
It's a series. I had a chance to watch the first episode of Creepshow on Shudder. A little early.
Hit me.
It's fantastic.
Really?
Yes. Both.
I was not impressed with the trailer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The trailer also doesn't show a whole lot compared to what you actually get in the film, or in the first episode. But the first segment is Gray Matter, based on the short story from Stephen King.
Okay.
It's fantastic. Tobin Bell, Adrienne Barbeau are both in the cast, and it's just builds the suspense through the storytelling. And I think Stephen King, as far as horror goes, works great in shorter segments than the longer ones.
Well, it depends. Depends how long its books are, though, right?
It does depend, but I think the short segments are really stand out.
Yeah.
And then the second one is written by Bird Box writer Josh Mallerman. I think it's called The House of the Head.
Okay.
And it's about this little girl whose parents buy her this gorgeous looking dollhouse, and she has this family that lives inside of it, and one day this mysterious severed head shows up in it. And she talks to it, and she's like, "You're not supposed to be here," and tries to figure out why the head is there, and interacts with the family and why or how they can stop it, because she doesn't want to bring it into the real world. Like, it's just crazy. It's a crazy story because it's about this little girl and her imagination, and these figures, though they don't talk like Toy Story or something,
Sure.
where they don't come to life, they're inanimate objects throughout the entire episode. They become characters within it, and it's really interesting to watch it that way. So I highly recommend the first episode.
Is it available yet?
I believe it comes out the 27th
Of October?
of September.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll have to pull up my review, but I believe that's when it is.
Okay.
But yeah, I highly recommend it. I watched Creepshow 2 just the other day for the first time.
What did you think of Creepshow 2?
The second segment, The Raft, is fantastic. The rest are okay.
I think it's way better than the first movie.
Really?
Yeah.
What's your favorite? Is The Raft your favorite one?
Out of both, or out of the second one?
Out of the second
well, the
one.
Raft is clearly the best
Okay.
one. The Raft is the best.
I think it's the
my
best out
favorite.
of both.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that. The Raft I really enjoy, and then honestly I really like the one with the Indian too. I like that sequence a lot.
I thought that one went a little too long.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it does. It
yeah.
does go a little long. Yeah.
September 26th for Creepshow
Okay.
on Shudder.
Okay.
Yeah, highly recommend.
That's this week. I think it's this Friday actually.
Yeah, so this Thursday actually.
okay.
Yeah, they're doing a live premiere at, I believe, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Check it out then, and the use of the comic book style and the creeper is fantastic.
Is he back?
Oh yeah,
Oh, okay.
It's fantastic.
Cool.
Highly recommend it.
Very cool.
Yeah, so that was my recent watch. I have to always give a nice Shudder plug,
Yeah, you have to.
and especially since they are so awesome to send us some of this stuff early.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm glad you enjoyed it, as
Yeah.
opposed to like being like, God, I really didn't like it, and
No, and I'm not just saying that because they sent it to us early.
Right.
I legitimately loved that first episode, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do next.
I'm curious now. Like I said, the trailer didn't do much for me, but after your recommendation, I might have to give it a go.
Yeah, give it a go. Let me know your thoughts on it.
I'll have to do that.
All right, let's jump into this. Blake, Mr. Rules.
I'm not Mr. Rules.
You're Mr. Rules.
All right. So how Killer Countdown works? We're making a top 8 list. We're doing all 8 Rob Zombie movies. Casey and I are gonna take turns. However this plays out, listing movies from 8 to 1. 1's the best, 8 is the worst. We have a hat with 8 pieces of paper. Well, I'm sorry. Initially, we have 4 pieces of paper, spots 8 through 5 on them. Whoever goes first draws 1 out. Then the next person goes, and then the first person goes again, and the next person goes. And then we do spots 8 through 5. And after that, we redraw and do 4 through 1. And then we're just creating the definitive list of a certain subject. And each person is going to get what's called a stab. And what that does is, let's say Casey plays a movie that I think is wrong, at the wrong spot. I can stab it off that spot.
Yes, and we have to demonstrate that. I know this plays out well over a podcast. Is this knife that?
Right, that you can all see.
Yes, obviously. There is a fake knife on the table that we use. It is actually from Rob Zombie's Halloween. Ooh. So that works for this episode. Yeah.
So we each get 1 stab.
Yes.
Once that stab is used, we cannot do it again.
Yep.
The movie is not entirely off the list. It just goes back into a pile and will be used at a later date, or possibly not. Who knows?
Yep.
But today, every movie will
be used.
Will be used.
So all this, the stab that if it is used, is to move a movie up higher on this list.
Pretty much.
That's all that this is. So
yeah, I'm very curious.
Yes, let's do this. I'm excited.
I'm stoked. I have no clue what you're thinking.
Good. So yeah, as Blake said, we're gonna do all 8 Rob Zombie movies.
Am I going first?
Do you want to go ahead?
I can see it. So hold.
Okay,
hold.
I'll look away. So yeah, we're drawing the numbers 8 through 5. Whoever has the number 8 pick will go first, obviously. And looking at my numbers, Blake will have the number 8 pick here.
Oh, will I?
He will.
Ooh.
Do you have any strategy going into this? Do you have something that you want at number 1 or something you want at number 8?
I have
Do you have a definitive number one? Is maybe the better question.
I do not have a definitive number one.
Okay.
I have a definitive top two.
Okay.
I know what movies should be placed at the end.
Okay.
So like Casey said, I have number 8, so I will start.
Okay. I have a definitive number 8. The rest I think can kind of fall where they need to, but I have a definitive number 8.
Okay. Am I going to hand you the card?
No, go ahead.
I'm going to do it.
You can go ahead and do it.
All right. At number 8, I'm going to pick a movie that I've only seen one time, and I'm not going to lie, I don't remember too much about it, so I'm going to say my little piece on it, and I'm going to let you go, or stab it off if you want it gone. I am going to play Halloween. There was a lot of commotion that came out when he announced that he was going to do a remake of the classic John Carpenter movie, and I don't think I think it's a very bad movie. I don't like it at all. I believe Michael Myers talks in the movie. Am I correct about that?
Yes. So basically, this one is the first half hour, 40 minutes is him as a kid.
Yeah.
His childhood, his what his family life was like, what his school life was like.
And I personally, this is just me. I am not saying this is the wrong way to do something. It usually doesn't work for me. I do not like when there is this evil force in a movie that I don't know much about, and it's terrifying to me, and this person or thing is killing people, and no one knows what it is or our backstory on it or where it came from, and so
he's the shape.
The decision to give him a story of where he came from and show maybe like an empathetic side to why Michael Myers is doing this, I think was very misguided. And I sort of felt that it was a little too mean in its violence. I don't like. I've said this before. I don't mind gore and extreme violence, but a movie needs to earn that stuff. And it feels like Rob Zombie as a filmmaker loves to like shock people. Like that's his MO, is to just like, try and how can I get people to like revile, and it didn't work for me here, and I think this is like far away his worst effort.
Okay. I have a little bit more positive thoughts than that. I don't think it's horrendous.
No, I don't think. If I said horrendous, I apologize. I don't think it's very good.
Okay, it's not. I'll agree. It's not very good. I do like that he does take a little bit different step than the Carpenter original, where the Carpenter original is Michael Myers. He is the shape. He is this emotionless embodiment of evil. There's nothing behind the eyes. Loomis says it perfectly. He is the devil's eyes, the darkest eyes. That is perfectly embodiment of Carpenter's Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Which is why I give Zombie props that he wanted to take a different route. He wanted to tell a little bit of backstory to his Michael Myers. Because I think that's the strongest part of the movie.
Okay.
Is those first 40 minutes. But that being said, there is also some really shitty stuff in that first 40 minutes. His home life is typical Rob Zombie trailer trash dialogue that he relies way too heavy on most of his movies.
Yeah.
And I cannot stand it.
I don't know if he relies too much on it, but
it's his wheelhouse. It's safe.
It doesn't work here.
No, especially in a town of Haddonfield, Illinois.
Right.
Which is just supposed to be small town, middle America.
Right.
Very much what we live in right now.
Right.
For us here in South Dakota. But once you get into where he dives into Carpenter's Halloween, I think it's totally misguided because he doesn't understand subtlety at all.
No.
Which Carpenter's first Halloween, I still find I know every single frame and shot in that movie, and I'm still scared every time I watch it. I think it is terrifying.
Yep.
And Rob Zombie's Halloween has none of that subtlety, none of those scares.
No.
It is replaced instead with shaky cam, gore, and violence.
Yep.
And what I don't like, which we'll get into more into his filmography, he relies on that shaky cam way too much. For a guy who loves like gore and shocking audiences, Why are you shaking the camera while you're showing that gore?
Yeah.
Just focus on it. Don't shake. Yeah. And this Michael Myers, I like the shape, the nameless evil. I don't really like the grunting, stabbing, big monster Michael Myers. And at number 8, I would personally, on my own list, it's a little higher.
I just realized that I played the wrong movie. I would actually have one here, but I'm just okay with this being here.
I might have the one you were going to play here, because I have the number 7 here.
Okay, are you ready to play it?
I'm ready to play it, because this is my number 8, far and away, Halloween 2.
Oh! I think this is much better than the original Halloween.
I wholeheartedly disagree. I didn't want to use my stab. Obviously, I played it, and this is what's next. This is number 7. Halloween 2 is my least favorite movie of all time.
Just period.
Period. I don't think it is. It's garbage, and I don't think it's horrendous. You know what I mean? But it's personally my most hated movie of all time. It takes away, as we said, the mystique that Michael Myers has in the original John Carpenter film.
Yeah.
And I think he loses a lot of that in the first Halloween. But once you get to the second Halloween, Michael Myers is just not Michael Myers anymore.
Yeah.
It's all gone. His mask is completely just torn in half. If he's even wearing it, he's just this crazy mountain man with a giant beard. He actually looks like Rob Zombie.
Oh,
I think Rob Zombie, he based the look of that Michael Myers on himself.
Yeah.
So the basic plot of Halloween 2, it follows right up after the events of the first Halloween, except it starts off in a dream sequence, which I hate. I think it's lazy. It starts off, you think the plot is going to be the same as Carpenter's Halloween 2, where it's Laurie Strode in the hospital, Michael's chasing after her, same night, the night he still returned home, and it turns out it's just a dream sequence. None of that pays off. None of that actually happened. What actually is happening is this takes place 2 years after, something like that. Laurie is just basically a prototypical Rob Zombie character. She's no longer Laurie Strode. She is just Rob Zombie's version of Middle America Girl, which is trailer trash.
Sure.
Dr. Loomis is a fuckhead in this movie. Played by the great Malcolm McDowell. He is fantastic. And that's why I like the first one a little bit better. He's great as Loomis in that first one.
He is good in the series, yeah.
The second one, he's god-awful. He's just a fucking asshole. Oh. And I hate him. I hate the Dr. Loomis. He is literally there to... His character is completely gone. Because in the first film, he's at least sympathetic towards Michael. Here, he's completely exploiting Michael Myers in his life and the tragedy that happened with Laurie Strode on that Halloween night. And he's completely exploiting it. And he's just a jerk to everyone, which is completely out of character. Even from Donald Pleasant's version and his version in the first film, it's completely out of character. And the ending of this film is one of the worst things I've ever seen. Just the way it ends. I hated it through and through. Obviously he had a budget. There's something there. The actors are doing what they're supposed to do, but I legitimately hate this movie.
Ah, that's some harsh words. I enjoyed it more than the first one, even though I found it incredibly violent.
It's mean. It's a mean movie.
I was shocked at how violent.
And I don't like that.
There's one scene where I think he's in a strip club, and Michael Myers is, he's not just killing this woman, he is making sure her spirit never sleeps. It's a nasty, nasty movie.
And he's just every kill he sounds like an ape.
Yeah.
I don't need that.
Yeah. I'm totally fine with this being lower.
Yeah. I was very tempted to stab Halloween.
Oh.
But I don't know if you would have played Halloween 2 there. Was my worry.
At 8?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
I would have played it closer to 5 or 6.
Okay, I can't have it that high.
Okay.
No, it has to be there. The one last thing on it that makes no sense to me still to this day. I've seen this movie probably twice now, and I still hate it. But why is it just because Zombie needs to have his wife in every movie that Sherry Moon Zombie returns in this as Michael's mom, along with a white horse in her white gown? It makes no sense in the actual story.
It's a bizarre sequence.
It is very bizarre. It feels like his music videos.
Yeah.
It has no place in this movie. That's what I have never understood. Is it just the fact that he needs his wife in the movie?
I guess maybe a part of their prenup that she had to be in his movies or something.
She has to be in all of them?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Halloween 2. I legitimately hate the movie.
Yeah, it's the series is not only just like not scary or entertaining. Like it feels like the life is getting sucked out of you while you watch it. You know, like you don't. Yeah. There's no enjoyment out of it.
There's no character to root for. Everyone's an asshole.
It's just dark and mean, and
the only one sort of relatable or that you kind of root for is I just want to call her Jamie Lloyd. I don't remember. Oh, she plays Annie in this one. Danielle Harris.
Okay.
Yeah, she returns to the series. Okay. And she plays the best friend of Lori, Annie, and she's sort of relatable. Yeah. But it makes you want to say, Rob Zombie, why didn't you just go ahead and make a sequel to Halloween 5? Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, Halloween 2, number 7.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
All right.
I'm ready for my.
I'll be a little more positive for me. No, I swear.
Yeah. Okay.
You got the number 6.
For some reason, I don't know why I blanked on I'm playing this at 8 because I thought this was like far and away the worst thing he's done. Okay. But I'm okay with it at 6 because the more I think about the movie, the more maybe I miss sort of its inspiration. I'm gonna go with 3 from Hell. I took no enjoyment watching this movie. Okay. 3 from Hell is the third movie in his trilogy of the Firefly. Thank you, yes. Firefly family. Straight off the bat, they ruined
the ending.
The ending to Devil's Rejects. Okay, yeah. So the
don't spoil the movie.
Yeah, I'm not going.
We got to ride a fine line. On this one.
I know. Jeez. So the 3 from Hell basically takes off at the end of Devil's Rejects. They somehow survive the ending of Devil's Rejects, and they end up in the hospital. They survive. Each of them has 20 to 30 bullet holes, and they all survive, which might be Satan's work. I don't know, but. Basically, they go to trial. They're all given, like 30 life sentences, and the only one that's actually I probably shouldn't say what happens to certain characters. No. So
one of them is not in the movie as much as you would
want. Which I feel is very, very disappointing because I think he's I don't know. He's an integral part of the first 2 movies, and he's not part of this one very much at all. But basically, Otis is able to escape his prison sentence, and then finds the warden of Sherry Moon's prison, and is able to concoct some sort of escape plan for them. And man, the first hour of this movie is, I found it unwatchable. Unwatchable. Okay. I don't know what Rob Zombie was. I don't know if he had if there's budget issues, if there was a strict shooting schedule, what. But every single shot in the first hour is a close up. You have zero idea what's happening. If someone is talking,
it's a little nauseating.
If someone's talking, the only thing on screen is their face. If their hand moves, the only thing that on the screen is the hand. It's nauseating. I found that, and it didn't work. This kind of filmmaking doesn't work with his trailer trashy, like, vibe he has going for it. I wanted to throw up watching this movie. I will say, the movie gets better once they go to their destination. Okay. When they get to where they end up going at the end of the movie, I think the movie has more spirit, more life, and the camera's not always zeroed in on something specific, and it's not constantly moving around, and there's a little bit more inspired characters that enter the picture. I still think one of the best actors he's introduced into his canon is Richard Brake, who I think will come up later in another movie, but I think he's the best part of this movie, as the stepbrother, I believe, to Otis. Yeah. Yep. And they have a really fun rapport with each other. I will say it's kind of a fun hangout movie once they get to where they're kind of like going with the plot. But for the most part, I felt that was pretty directionless for the entire movie.
Yeah, I'll jump off that because that first hour it uses a lot this like newsreel footage. It's trying to pseudo documentary style,
and it feels like his the rest of that part is inspired by that kind of filmmaking, and I could not do it.
Yeah, I do agree. That first hour is the weakest part of the movie for sure. Once, like you said, once they get to their destination, I think this is perfect Rob Zombie wheelhouse. You know what I mean?
I can see that.
You know what I mean with that? It is, like you said, it's a sort of a hangout movie. It's a pseudo-western. It's a grindhouse, grimy movie. And I think that's perfect in Rob Zombie's wheelhouse. And the thing I like about the Firefly trilogy in general is his 3 leads in those are all great.
Yes.
Bill Moseley is fan-fucking-tastic as Otis.
Not in this, though.
You didn't think so?
No, I didn't.
I thought he was great.
I thought he was...
His banter with Richard Brake is
good.
Great.
It was good. Part of me feels like I always want to see people grow.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not seeing Rob Zombie like get to the next level. Yeah. And so the whole thing where they're talking about like genitalia with really descriptive words, like it's kind of like it's like I've seen this before. Yeah. You know, like either go fully into it or don't or try something different. And this didn't work with me. Yeah,
so basically this movie, like you said, it takes place right after Rejects, and you find out they survive. I wish there was more of a... I kind of wish there was a supernatural aspect to it. I wish...
Thank you.
3 from Hell, I literally wish they went to hell. Like, I wish the movie started in hell, and the devil's like, I'm not taking you guys. You're going back. Go back.
You're too terrible for me to have down here.
I can't even have it. And you could have had a cool cameo by someone to play Satan, like... Could you imagine, like, who Zombie could have cast?
Without going into, like, too much...
imagine Malcolm McDowell as the devil.
Without giving away too much, like, when one character dies in the movie, I was like, okay, he's going to do this, and then, like, there's going to be a scene where they rise out of the grave and come back to... And, like, it's like,
Yeah.
It didn't do it.
For as much as Zombie loves... His fucking last name is Zombie.
Yeah.
He loves Zombie. Like, that's like I've heard countless interviews where he talks about Night of the Living Dead, and he is a super horror fan.
Yeah.
Why is he not going more into supernatural stuff with this stuff? I think this movie would have benefited from that because when you watch the end of Devil's Rejects, they're fucking dead. They're toast. They're done. They're dead. And I wish there was a supernatural aspect. And here at number 6, God.
You think it's got to be higher?
I do think it has to be higher. You would have put this at 8?
I would have put this at 8. I did not enjoy this experience at all.
Personally, it is my second favorite out of the Firefly trilogy.
Oh my God.
I won't tell you which one's first.
I already know which one's first.
But yeah, I do think it should be higher.
Okay.
I do, but...
I'm really curious if you stab this and then put something that I don't like, and I'm going to stab that off.
But like you said, that first hour or so is a drag, and it's
not good.
And when you deal with the breakout of baby Firefly and everything with the warden, I hated.
Oh,
it was bad. And I like the actor Jeff Daniel Phillips. He's become a zombie mainstay.
Okay,
and I like him.
Yeah, he was fine.
But I didn't feel his character added anything.
That's the thing is like Rob Zombie like paints these characters like basically no one in this movie is like really good in a way.
Well, that's what I don't understand because in Rejects they are total anti-heroes. You end up rooting for them by the end.
I don't.
In a dark way.
No, I don't.
You don't? Okay.
No.
Even in the crowd, could you tell that people were rooting for the 3 mains?
Oh yeah. Well, why else are you there?
Well, yeah. And I feel he doesn't delve into that anti-heroism enough.
Yeah.
They're kind of just fuckheads in this movie.
Yeah.
To put it bluntly. And everything with the warden is just mean-spirited.
Oh, it's terrible. And the same thing with Dee Wallace. Her character is like, it's ugly. It's an ugly storyline.
But then their characters almost revert back. So in the first half, they're kind of back to their corpse's character. In the second half, I think they're more of their rejects character. You know what I mean?
Just killing innocent people.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can stab this. I
I'd like to because I think it should be a little higher. I do.
Interesting. I really hated this experience.
Okay.
But, I mean, that's the way the game works.
It is.
Get rid of it.
The crowd enjoyed it while we were there. We watched it that opening night, that Monday night.
There's a lot of people there.
Yeah. I think I gotta leave it.
Okay.
I gotta save that stab for for God knows what, because I was not expecting 3 from Hell right here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it.
Would you have stabbed it if I put it at 8?
Yes. I would. Yeah.
Wow.
I
thought we were fully. Well, I don't know. We didn't. We had this like.
We literally did not say anything about the movie to each other after we left.
Literally not one word about it.
God, I think I'm gonna leave it.
Okay.
I think I'll leave it.
The knife is here if you want to use it.
It is here. God. But yeah, I enjoyed it a lot more.
I did not.
Yeah. We'll get to the other ones in that trilogy, but man.
I'm sorry to disappoint.
Yeah. No, that's all right. All right, we're gonna move on to number 5. So number 8 is Rob Zombie's Halloween. Number 7, Halloween 2. Number 6, 3 from Hell. And I have the number 5 pick. This could really go any way right now, couldn't it?
It could.
And for some reason, I think this movie that I'm about to play is much higher on yours. And I might be doing this. It's not to spite you, but I think it should be lower than 5 even. That is one of the movies that I did on this watch in preparation for the film, for this countdown. Rob Zombie's 31. So set in the 70s, Halloween night, these group of carnies are out on the road. They end up being attacked by this mysterious cult, and they are to partake in this game called 31 with a bunch of killer clowns. They go through different stages, almost like boss fights in a video game, and they have to face off against these killer clowns led by the always fantastic Malcolm McDowell, who is not a clown, but he is the leader of this game of 31. And the reason that I am going to be okay if it stays at number 5 and would want it lower if it could have is I think this is Rob Zombie falling really far back as a filmmaker. Like you said, there's so many close-ups, much like the opening of 3 from Hell, that first hour. There's way too many close-ups, shaky cams. You can't tell what's going on. You don't fully get immersed into this environment. The characters are all unlikable. I don't like any of them. There's no one to root for. Again, Sherry Moon Zombie is the focus of it, of course. And you don't know anything about her character. She could have just as well have been Baby Firefly. You know nothing about her or anyone else really in this gang of carnies. And the one positive I have is Richard Brake is fucking fantastic in the movie. He is the best part. I wish he was the focus of the movie. I think his opening, like the opening of the film, if you've seen it and know what I'm talking about, with his monologue at the beginning, is terrifying. He is like, imagine Heath Ledger's Joker, but scarier. This guy is terrifying. He is haunting. When I saw that, I'm like, shit, yes. I'm like, this is going to be something great. This is going to be entering into a very good Rob Zombie. He has great dialogue in that opening scene. Richard Brake, as I said, is terrifying. And it takes a deep dive after that. It doesn't pick back up until Brake's character shows back up in the third act. It helps out that he's back in the movie then, but that, I don't know, hour and a half, hour 20 that he's not in the movie is just a drag. It's boring. I find nothing compelling about it. One character actor that we didn't bring up in 3 from Hell is Pancho Moller. He's the short guy. Okay. He's also great in 31. Okay. He's great in 3 from. He's actually, when I talked about likable characters, he's the only likable character in 3 from Hell.
He's the dwarf.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I enjoy.
He's super likable in 3 from Hell.
He's good in that.
He's really good, and I thought he was really good in 31. Yeah, I did not enjoy this movie. I felt like how you felt with 3 from Hell. It was a drag. Felt gross watching it. I didn't want to watch it anymore. That opening scene is fantastic, like I said, but after that it's just like digging through sludge to get through it.
Yeah. I'll just run through my notes that I wrote down.
Okay.
My first note that I wrote down is zombies worst, followed by about 6 question marks.
For 31.
Yes.
Okay.
My second note is Richard Brake owns this entire thing. He has an incredible opening monologue. My third note for this film is didn't care about anyone, let them die. So I pretty much agree with you in this movie.
Okay.
This if I hadn't had a brain fart and played Halloween at 8, this with 3 from Hell would have been battling out for 8. For me. I did not enjoy this experience at all. This is zombie.
Your brain farts at the top of these lists are throwing them off. Boy.
Yeah.
Come on. It's terrible.
Rob Zombie, like you can tell there's so much, like he loves the genre so much, but it doesn't show on screen, and I don't know.
Isn't that just a strange
it's
thing?
So weird. Like I know he loves the genre. Like it's palpable.
He is one of my. Him and Eli Roth are 2 of my favorite people just to listen to their love of film.
And there's like his movies are not fun experiences to sit through, and this was just so like I can enjoy stuff like this if it's exciting or like if there's like a beat to it, but this is just set up kill end. You know, like
and the kills aren't good or memorable.
No,
that's one thing I've never understood. Actually, in any of his movies, I don't remember any of the kills.
This was the movie that was GoFunded, right? Or that had the GoFundMe thing going. So part of me wonders if like Zombie has a script, he should give it to a studio, and then they should tell him this. You know, like maybe a little bit more restraint.
I wish Rob Zombie had a writer.
Yeah.
Because I think he has his own distinct visual style, obviously, but I think he needs a stronger writer.
Right.
Because he pulls out these character actors and they give great performances.
Yeah,
Richard
absolutely.
Brake,
is
I legitimately want him to be the Joker in a movie. He is fantastic.
His monologue at the beginning, I'm pretty sure it's like a one-take thing where he is just looking into the camera close up. Mm-hmm. You know,
it's very well shot.
Yeah.
Like Rob Zombie's close-ups are really, they kind of feel gross.
Yeah, but this one,
it's black and white.
Oh, it's so creepy.
I wish he'd make a black and white movie.
Yeah, I wish half the movie was just Richard Brake looking at the camera and explaining his evil things he was talking about.
It's that dialogue, like it reminds me of like in terms of like dialogue, like you always think of Tarantino dialogue or Kevin Smith dialogue. Like Rob Zombie's not known for that.
No,
he's known for trashy dialogue.
I disagree slightly with that a little bit, but
you know what I mean. But this is completely different for him. It's fantastic, and I mean, I would put it like this and Halloween 2 are my least favorite by far. So I wish this was at that number 8 instead. I wish we could switch Halloween and 31 right now.
Unfortunately, we don't swap titles here.
We don't. We should make that a rule.
No, we shouldn't.
Okay.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah. So
we're working on that best of 2010 horror list. I'm trying to come up with some fun rules to implement in that. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Do you have any other final thoughts on 31?
No, it should never exist.
Yeah. I watched the on Shudder. They have a Rob Zombie little collection in it.
Okay.
And 31 is kind of the mainstay of it.
Okay.
Because it's the one they have on Shudder, and there's a little 2-part documentary making of. They're only like 20 minutes long each.
Okay.
It doesn't go too much into it, but it shows how tight of schedule Rob Zombie has on those movies.
Yeah.
He had Malcolm McDowell there for 2 days.
Yeah.
And they had to shoot, which is a gorgeous building they shot in.
And
they don't fully explore it.
Yeah, and that's another thing too, is like he shoots a lot of that stuff in close-ups, or it's really dark and you can't see.
Yeah.
And you get a whiff of like this place early on, like, oh, this could be like a really cool, like almost like The Running Man, where there's this really cool
elaborate building.
Right, and it's not explored at all.
No, and that's part of it. He had literally 2 days in that building.
Oh, okay.
2 days. He only had Malcolm McDowell for that short amount of time, which I think with maybe a more seasoned director, they can get more out of those 2 days. But I understand the budget problems of it, but it just
I was super
didn't
excited
work.
to see that movie too, and I was pretty disappointed with it.
All right, so we gotta jump into our next round here, pretty much.
We're heading in the top 4. This is
4.
This is going pretty copacetically, I think.
Is this kind of where you thought this was gonna go?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
All right.
Well, no, I was hoping it would go this way.
Okay. This is, as I said, I was hoping for three from Hell a little higher, but the other 3 in this bottom 4 is
higher is in the lower parts of the.
Yeah, I would have it in the top 5. 3 from Hell.
Oh, 3 from Hell. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but Halloween, the 2 Halloweens and 31 are my bottom 3 for sure. So.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna jump into the top 4. We're gonna pick out numbers. I'll go ahead and draw first.
I'm going first.
Okay, fine.
You went first in the first part.
Just don't look.
I'm not gonna look.
All right, I'm excited for this. This is gonna be a fun top 4. I have no idea where it's gonna go.
And we both have our stabs left too.
I don't like my numbers.
Ooh, I get to go first. I have the number 4 pick.
Yes, he does.
Okay.
Do you know what you want to go with here?
Yeah,
do you have an idea?
I do.
We both have our stabs left.
Into
the nitty-gritty
maybe
here.
I don't know what I want to go with.
You only have 4 to pick from, so it's not.
I think I know what you want in the top spot.
Okay.
So we will see when we get there.
Yeah.
All right. I am going to pick the movie that I watched today.
All right.
The Haunted World of El Superbeasto. You're stabbing it.
Stabbing it.
Interesting.
Right away. Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't even talk about this movie. Okay.
I want to hold off on it. Yeah. I'll stab it right away.
Okay.
I obviously think it should be higher.
Okay.
And I'm more interested to see what you're going to put there instead.
Then I'm going to play The Devil's Rejects next. I think this is a great...
And the crowd goes nuts. They're Casey, what are you doing? Why are you stabbing El Superbeasto? For The Devil's Rejects at number 4.
I'm going to admit that this is a power play.
Okay.
Because I think El Superbeasto is a lot of fun, and it's a really fun ride. I was completely surprised at how good it was. Like, really shocked.
Yeah.
The Devil's Rejects is probably Rob Zombie's best directed movie. Everything about it clicks. It is the sequel to House of a Thousand Corpses. The movie starts off with I think it starts off at the end of House of a Thousand Corpses, and the Firefly family. I'm not gonna get that right tonight. They are in a standoff with police. They escape and go on the run, and it becomes kind of like this road picture. There's a lot of fantastic music in the movie. Mm-hmm. Let me pull my notes out here. There is so much inspired madness in this movie. I'm not gonna. I know how, but one of the unjust, like, the Academy missing out on an inspired choice would have been Bill Moseley for Best Supporting Actor. I think he delivers one of the most frightening and hilarious and a sadistic performance with Otis. Like, he's. Earlier you said that Rob Zombie shouldn't be mentioned in the same breath as like Kevin Smith or Tarantino with his dialogue, but I disagree with that on this movie.
Okay.
Alone. Some of the stuff that Otis says is like Shakespearean trash. Like, he goes off on these tangents about, higher powers and the devil comes for the good, and like, you can do this, but whatever. And like, he is the focal point of this movie, and he delivers. And I'm so glad that there was like this grassroots movement to get him awards consideration, because he fully deserved it. He's on fire in this movie. Sherry Moon is very good in this movie. She is annoying, but it's played to a point where it's not like she's acting. Like, she plays it straight. She plays her insanity. She plays her annoyingness straight. It's disgusting movie. It's repulsive. It's vomit-inducing. It's a vile movie, but that's the point. There is a certain energy to it that makes the whole experience worthwhile. I think if you go into this knowing all that and being ready to have a good time with the violence and the absurdity of it all, I think you'll really enjoy the movie.
Get ready to root for the bad guys.
Yes. Rob Zombie is on fire with this movie, and it has an absolutely incredible ending.
Yeah. Devil's Rejects. For the long time, this was... So the first time I watched it, I had seen the Halloween movies. I had seen House of a Thousand Corpses, and I'm like, I don't get it. What is everybody's infatuation with Rob Zombie? I just don't understand it. And I was trying to figure it out, and I finally watched Devil's Rejects, and the first thing I said after it to myself was, I get it. I get it now. I understand what people love about his movies now. It's because of this movie that I will go watch his other stuff to further see where he can grow as a filmmaker, because I do think this is one of his best filmed pieces of work that he has. He is firing on all cylinders. Everything he's trying to say and do is said and done in this movie.
Yep.
And the characters of the Firefly family are disgusting, vile people. They do despicable things, but you kind of love watching them do it.
I didn't, but I understand the thought process behind that.
And like you said, Bill Moseley crushes in this movie. Having him have this kind of, I don't want to say resurgence, but before you think of Otis, the main character you would think of that Bill Moseley has played is Chop Top from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, which he is the best part of that movie. I think he's the best part of any of the Chainsaw movies. And to see him bring that type of manic energy to Rob Zombie's films is, you can feel it coming through the screen.
Yeah.
That craziness. But he does it in not really an elegant way, but you feel everything he's talking about. He's scary, but yet he's funny.
Yeah,
he's charismatic.
There's this like he is such an evil person, but like in a way you kind of like you understand his process. You understand
like you want to have a drink with the guy, but you know he's gonna slit your throat after you're done.
Yeah,
you know what it is?
It's like you know he's bad news.
Yeah,
but he's still able to talk you into having that drink with him.
Yeah, he'll say, "I'm gonna kill you after this." But let's go ahead.
It's one of the best horror performances of since 2000 of the millennium.
Yeah, and we haven't even brought him up yet. Sid Haig.
He's
Captain
good.
Spaulding.
He's good.
He's iconic for a reason, and I think his character is a little bit more toned down from Corpses.
Yeah.
Because now you're focusing on the family.
Right.
The three of them, the three rejects, and I still think he's great. I think Sherry Moon is much better in this movie than Corpses.
Yeah.
I find her completely annoying and over the top in House of a Thousand Corpses.
Okay.
I think she's a caricature in that one. She's actually a character in this.
Right. Yeah, she finds a good balance here with her eccentricities. This
is far and away the best movie in the Firefly trilogy, which pains me that Corpses is going to go higher.
Yeah.
Because I do think Rejects is a much better movie.
Yeah.
And I was hoping you would play Corpses here.
Yeah. Well, but, I wanted El Super Beasto here.
Yeah, you didn't get that.
I didn't get that.
But yeah, the ending, that ending is perfect.
Oh, man.
Which is why I was concerned going into 3 from Hell already, because horror movies are hard to find an ending that is so satisfying of a conclusion. Mm-hmm. And
it felt definitive.
It did. It felt like the end of the story. It was climactic.
I was happy with that ending. Yeah. Like I was like, okay, yep. I don't want to spend more time with these people, and this is a great way to send them out. And
it was literally going out in a blaze of glory.
Yes.
And that's why I wanted the supernatural aspect brought into 3 from Hell.
I don't know how many movies have used Freebird, but nothing will top the Devil's Rejects.
Have you ever seen Kingsman: The Secret Service?
Oh, yes,
yeah.
I have. Oof.
I think both in two very different ways. That song kind of becomes a different song in both of those.
Yeah.
But the use of Freebird is perfect. Zombie likes slow motion. He's never used it better than that ending.
Yeah,
never.
It's so good.
Yeah. So Devil's Rejects, number 4.
The apple cart has been upended.
I think most people would put this at number 1.
Yeah, I'm not most people.
You are not most people. Neither am I. All right. I don't hate that spot. It's in the top 4. Like I said, it's a little higher on my personal list.
I'm really curious to see where
this is going to go.
Yeah. I have a definitive number 1.
Okay. You do.
Yep.
All right. So my number 3 here, I think you can probably guess what I'm going to play here.
I don't.
No?
I have no clue.
Oh, well, there's only 3 options left. And I just mentioned it. Okay. House of a Thousand Corpses.
All right.
Admittedly, it has been a while since I have seen this, so I might need a little help with the plot. But from what I remember,
I mean, it's basically Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
yeah, this group of kids are out on the road and they get abducted by these crazy people. Is that it?
Pretty much.
Okay.
They're on the road. They pull over in a storm and they get invited into. Oh no, well, they stop by the Captain Spaulding place first, and then he tells them to go down this road, whatever, and they end up going into this house with these people, and they see a show, and it turns into hell. Mm-hmm. It's essentially the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Rob Zombie's version of
Rob
Texas.
Zombie has made no claim to hiding his love for this movie. Of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Sorry.
Of Chainsaw, yeah.
Yeah.
Even the poster looks like
The poster's great.
Poster is great.
I think that's one of the things that I looked forward to the most when I first saw it.
The title is too. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great title. There was a lot of behind the scenes issues with this movie. I think this movie actually was it 2003 when it came out.
Yep.
I think it was shot in like 2000 or 2001, and it wasn't released for a couple years because there's a lot of studio fighting about how violent it was. So I think. In an interview, Rob Zombie mentioned that the studio had zero clue what he was doing.
Yeah, I just watched. He did an interview with Mick Garris, and
he's like, yeah, there's just so much stuff happening that they didn't even think about us. And when I turned in the movie, they were like, we can't.
We spend money on this.
We can't release this. And so it took a while to come out.
Yeah.
And I can see why. Like looking back now with now that I'm older and experienced more movies, I guess I don't understand really the big deal about it, but at the time I could definitely understand it.
Yeah, this movie falls a lot lower on my personal, well, not a lot lower, but out of the top, right around the top 5, towards the 5-6 spot.
That's mine too.
This does?
Yeah.
Then why the hell is it right here?
You put it here.
It is. But yeah, it feels like Rob Zombie's student film because he's blatantly said he's never gone to film school. He's not classically trained in that way. And this is what it feels like. A studio gave this famous musician a lot of money to make whatever he wanted, and god damn it, he made whatever he wanted. It's not good. It's a learning curve for him for sure.
Yeah.
And you can tell it is his first
I
film.
I think it's good. I think it's a good movie.
I think it is I can't say it's good. I can't say it's bad though either.
Okay.
It is a first feature for sure. There is a lot of iconic and memorable things. Obviously, Sid Haig's Captain Spaulding is the first thing that you think of.
Yeah.
But then you have very well known actors now. You have Chris
Wilson.
Hardwick,
Yep.
Rainn Wilson are two of the guys that get killed in the movie.
Yeah.
And just seeing them this early in their career, it's a fun trajectory to watch. Especially Rainn Wilson, who is
he's really good in the movie.
He is really good, and this is years before The Office.
Yeah.
Before he's Dwight, and that's all you can kind of think of after watching it now is Dwight Schrute getting killed.
Also, it's I want to point out that Walt Goggins has a standout scene in the movie. I don't want to spoil what happens, but he has a very memorable scene halfway through the movie.
Yeah, I need to give this one another rewatch, maybe this Halloween season, because it has been probably 3-4 years since I've seen this. At least that, now that I think of it, it's been probably 4 or 5 years, and I might need to do a rewatch.
It's been a while. It's been a few years for me. I think my wife and I watched it a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's one I just didn't connect with the first time I watched it. Again, like I said when I was talking about Rejects, I didn't understand why people connected with the zombie films until I got to Rejects.
For me, being a little bit older, it felt like an extension of his first album, in a way. Like the idea of this haunted horror show, and now that it kind of came to life with this. So
now, was the song "House of a Thousand Corpses" released with the movie, or was that on an album beforehand?
I believe.
Because it's played early in the movie.
Yeah, I believe it was on an album. Gosh, I honestly don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Let us know if you're listening.
Yeah, please
help us out.
Yeah, help the clueless hosts out.
All right, we are down to the final 2.
Yeah. Casey,
is this where you thought this was going to go?
No.
All right. Number 2. I had the number 2 pick. Blake will have the number 1.
I am. Well, I'm not nervous.
Are you nervous?
No.
Are these your number 2?
No.
Oh.
I don't know what you're playing, but I'm not nervous because I have a stab.
You do have a stab. You have the choice.
I have
of what's
the number 1 pick. Yeah.
And do I want to make you use your stab?
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because I know it's number 1, and I'm perfectly fine with it being number 1 because it is the best one.
Okay.
But number 2 is The Haunted World of El Supervisto.
I'm shocked this movie made it this high.
Are you?
Yes.
I had a goal from the beginning of this. This was going to get into the top 2.
Really?
I was pushing for number 1.
Really?
Just because I loved this movie.
Really?
I had zero expectations going in. I'm like, I have to just watch it because it's gonna it's part of the 8 that we need to see. And I cannot believe how much I loved this movie.
So I was telling Casey that I wasn't gonna have time to watch this, and I legit did not have time to watch this. And then all of a sudden this morning, I found myself alone in my house. My mom had left. My wife had left with my daughter, and I was like, I'm doing this right now. It's the door shut. I started the movie. And I got knocked out before they came home. So I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm super happy I got to see it because I really enjoyed watching this movie.
I literally didn't know until we hit record that you had watched this either.
Yeah.
Because you never told me that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad you watched it because now we can actually talk about it in depth. And this movie is completely R-rated horror.
It might be even X-rated, honestly.
Yeah, horror, comedy, animated film. It is everything I love about adult animation. And Rob Zombie, you can feel that in it. He loves adult animation, and the use of his wacky, weird, gross comedy works perfect within this world of El Supervisto.
Yeah,
where it doesn't work in like Halloween or like 31 or 3 from Hell even.
Yeah.
And the basic plot is it's about I don't even know.
I'm gonna quote plot with my quote error.
I'm just gonna read the IMDb listing of it. A washed-up luchador and a super spy investigate Nazi zombies, a nefarious scientist, and a stripper with a satanic birthmark. Everything Rob Zombie loves, all in one.
I mean,
you can tell all those things appear in his other movies as well.
Like there's again, I'm gonna bring it up, but like Rob Zombie finds like a certain energy with this movie where like it just flies. Like the movie like never stops. I in my notes I wrote down this is what it'd be like if Rob Zombie made a Scooby-Doo movie.
Yeah, like that is exactly what he said about it himself.
There's literally parts where like people's masks are getting ripped off, and you're like, oh my god, like this is Scooby-Doo.
I took notes while watching this. I'm like, God, there's a lot of references. I need to figure out what all of them are. So this is what I have. His own Michael Myers is in the movie. Gets run over.
Yeah.
Christopher Lee's Dracula is in the bar in the movie. There's Jack Torrance. He's in the bar. Leatherface with the fake boobs is in it.
Okay.
The Bride of Frankenstein. A chest burster. Taxi driver. All 3 Devil's Rejects are in the strip club.
And this is all in one scene, I think.
Yeah. Edward Scissorhands, Jason Voorhees, Nosferatu, the Alien Queen, Phantom of the Opera. And I think this is where he was going with it. The werewolf women of the SS.
Yes, I was going to bring that up. I love that he sort of tied that whole thing together.
Like this, like if people are I am clamoring for him to make that a feature film.
Yes.
This is the closest we might ever get to that.
Yeah, which I guess I'm kind of fine. I mean, no, I would love to see one, but I'm okay if
this is it.
Right.
And yeah, like I said, all those like subgenres of horror and genre films that Zombie you can tell just loves. I think that love is perfectly on display in this. Obviously, the main character, he's a luchador. It's brought up in a couple of other zombie movies.
Right.
Having that is awesome. Nazi zombies is a mainstay in grindhouse gross horror perfect for the villains and. I loved this movie. I was surprised how much I loved it.
I didn't love it, but I was shocked at how much I enjoyed it. The opening credits are done in a Universal monster movie style, with complete with like mono sound and the black and white and the scratchy film.
The opening is a monologue about the movie from a guy in a suit.
Yeah, it sounds like Vincent Price.
Yep.
This is like the perfect vehicle for Sherry Moon. I think she's great in her voice role in this movie, along with, like Rosario Dawson's very good. Who plays Dr. Satan? Paul Giamatti's really good. So the voice work is really done. The animation is a lot of fun. The Susie X, the character that Sherry Moon plays, her backstory video along with the song that plays with it is a ton of fun. I sort of would love to see what this would be like if it was live action, but I'm okay with not knowing that.
No, I want it animated. I think it worked a lot better that way.
I'm sort of shocked that this is the one movie where I didn't know if I was going to see, and I saw it. I'm like, oh man, this is fun.
Yeah.
And I'm still shocked it made it this high. I would have probably played it around 5 or 6, but it just didn't work out that way. I don't like 31 or 3 from Hell as much, so
I would have had no qualms if this ended up at number 1. I was pushing for it. But
wow.
That's how much I enjoyed it. I really did. I want to see Zombie do something like this again. That's the first time I have said that about any.
Yeah, this is his best movie since the number one,
which as much as I was surprised by El Super Bisto, where objectively our number 1 I think is the number 1 overall, no matter what.
Yeah.
Because we'll talk about it, but El Super Bisto I think just surprised me how good it was.
I watched it on Tubi in case anyone was curious.
That's where I watched it as well. That's
with some ad breaks, but it wasn't. It was minimal. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, Tubi. I use Tubi more than I use Netflix, even with the ads, because there's so much more. I think there's a better selection overall. Especially
I would agree that there's better selection for horror movies,
especially cult hits like this. Yeah, this is actually where I watched. 31 is on there. El Super Bisto and our number 1 pick.
Interesting.
Are all on Tubi, and that's where I watched them. So thank you, Tubi TV.
Yes.
Great app. But yeah, should we run it down here?
Go for it.
All right. This is the Rob Zombie Killer Countdown. Number 8, Halloween. Number 7, Halloween 2. Number 6, 3 from Hell. Number 5, 31. Number 4, The Devil's Rejects. Number 3, House of a Thousand Corpses. Number 2, The Haunted World of El Super Bisto. And Blake Ginithan has the number 1 pick.
It's no surprise. It's the Lords of Salem. Jeez.
I wish there was an audience to clap, but I don't know if anyone would clap.
I think this was just really obvious, other than maybe I should have not been an asshole and not played Devil's Rejects so low. I probably should have played House of a Thousand Corpses, but that's just the way it is.
It's the way it goes.
It's just I had a red mist moment, but the Lords of Salem is probably it's easily his most restrained movie. It's gorgeous to look at. I believe he shot it in scope, not scope, but like widescreen, and it's about surprise, Sherry Moon is the star. However, she's good in this movie.
She is really good in this movie. She gives her best performance out of. I guess I've never seen her in anything besides a Rob Zombie movie.
I don't think it's her best, but
what's
The Devil's Rejects? I think is their best.
Okay. Anyway,
fight for we can agree that it's top 2 at least. So she plays a radio DJ, and recovering drug addict, and she in Salem, Massachusetts. Let's get that out of the way. Lords of Salem, and they one day get a record from this band, this mysterious band called the Lords.
The Lords.
And
that they soon dub the Lords of Salem because that's where they're from. Yes.
Right. And what happens is when this record, which by the way is incredibly creepy music, gets played on the radio, it sends like a trance through people, like where they stop moving and they kind of become like these monolithic figures who just kind of stare off into space. But the fascinating part about this movie is she lives in an apartment building run by 3 women. I think I wrote their names down. Dee Wallace, Meg Foster, and Judy Geeson, who are all terrific in this movie. So they run this. They're like the landlords of this apartment building, and off the bat, you're just like, there is something up with these ladies, and she soon starts to have these visions of all kinds of monstrous things. And one of them, she goes into an empty apartment building, and there's this gigantic Yeti-like creature in the corner, just grunting and staring at her. And other times, there's actual like ghosts in her apartment who are just kind of like sitting around, and they're kind of used for like the cheap jump scares here and there. But if you are not a fan of like the grungy Rob Zombie like trashy culture movies, like this is your movie here.
Yeah.
This is the movie where, and this is why when you brought up that you were disappointed it's a step backwards, like he shows real promise as an actual filmmaker here. And the movie goes a little off the rails at the end, and I think in a good way, personally. I like the whole Ken Russell montage where, like, in one sequence, there's, like, these demons who are, like, masturbating with dildos, and there's a scene involving a goat and some sacrifices in a movie theater that are just unreal, and I get what he was going with it, and I think he goes a little too far with it because of what you experienced before. But I think this is far and away his best movie.
I agree.
Like, there's no question.
Yeah, for the longest time, I just kind of always pushed this one off, especially, I don't know, the poster, I don't want to say it pushed me away, but obviously it's Rob Zombie, and right in the forefront is Sherry Moon Zombie, and I'm like, okay, I get it, dude. Like, you want to have your wife and all
Yeah,
that.
you love your wife.
Yes. But now after watching it, this is his best movie by far.
Yeah.
It is his most restrained. It's his most refined. I think even over Rejects, which I think for his live action films, Rejects and Lords of Salem are his top two. Mm-hmm. He's just so much more restrained. He creates actual characters in this.
Yeah.
Whereas I think Devil's Rejects are very exaggerated hillbilly.
They're characters of hillbillies. Yeah.
And in Lords of Salem, they're actually characters. The one thing I have to say about it is that whereas I don't think in any of his other movies, as I'm looking through this list, I didn't care about anyone in them. Yeah. As far as the main protagonist.
Yeah.
You actually care.
Yeah.
About the Sherry Moon Zombie's character. And I like she's a radio DJ, and I like her co-host as well. Ken Forey plays one of them.
Yes.
Yeah, and I love this. First of all, I love movies that take place in Salem, because the Salem witch trials they're a fascinating story and a fascinating subject to have in film, and having Salem as the backdrop for this movie. You can tell Rob Zombie like he's been waiting to make a witch movie. Mm-hmm. You can just tell. You can feel like he's had this idea for a while, and you can just feel it come through the movie. And yeah, it's definitely his most restrained, which works a lot better. There's none of that trashy dialogue in it,
and he shows that he can make an actual.
And there's actual scares in the movie too.
Yeah,
which I don't think are really present in any other one. No. The use of the apartment is perfect for those scares, and yeah.
I also want to point out that Bruce Davison kills his role.
He's really good in this movie. Yeah. And his side story of him trying to discover what this record is himself, and him going through that little side plot it's really compelling. And having him compare the record to these notes that are taken, and having him, I think, is it him or his wife that plays it on the piano? Either one, they match it up with the record that's playing, and you find that out. It's scary.
Yeah, it's
a good revelation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so happy this is at number one, because going in, I was like, Lords of Salem, his best movie. Yeah. And I was like you talked about earlier, like we didn't discuss anything about Rob Zombie. I didn't know where you sat on him at all. So
really,
I'm so happy that Lords of Salem is at one.
Super
Beasto is a little high for me, but that's okay.
I will admit, El Super Beasto is really high because I kind of wanted to just throw a wrench in this because I enjoyed it that much.
Yeah.
I legitimately enjoyed it a lot. And
I did too. I was shocked how much I enjoyed it.
Personally, I think my own list is Lords of Salem, Rejects, and then Super Beasto. So
I don't know what mine
but
would be.
I wanted Super Beasto in that top two. I was gunning for that since the start. That's why I was worried that if you had seen it or hadn't, either way, that you might not like it, and you were going to put it
No,
8?
My plan with that, if I hadn't seen El Super Beasto, was I was going to play my game. I was going to play the movies that I
And
had
let
seen.
me put it where...
Yep. Remember I said I trust you?
Yeah. Do you still trust me after this?
I think it's too high.
Okay.
But maybe by 2 or 3 spots.
Okay.
But honestly, that could have been my doing too. Actually, probably was my doing.
Yeah, I think you messed up right here.
No.
31 should have been at the bottom, I think.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think we have a very mixed list.
Yeah.
It is definitely...
I am curious about one of our listeners, what they're going to say about this list.
Yeah,
So-
we have a couple listeners that we saw at the 3 from Hell screening, and
Yeah.
they might be on our next episode, too. We'll have to discuss it on air. I want to wait and hear their thoughts. So
Yeah.
let's run through this list one more time. Blake, you can go ahead and go for
at
it.
Number 8, we have Halloween. At number 7, we have Halloween 2. At number 6, we have 3 from Hell. Number 5, we have 31. At 4, we have The Devil's Rejects. At number 3, we have The House of 1,000 Corpses. At number 2, we have The Haunted World of El Super Beasto. And at number 1, we have the best Rob Zombie movie, The Lords of Salem.
The Lords of Salem. Yeah.
It's a good list.
This isn't the way I thought it was going to go.
No, not at all.
But
I
like the way it turned out.
Yeah, I'm okay with this.
Because I think
I think the top 4 is the top 4 for sure. Maybe not in that order. Probably not in that order.
that's not my top 4, but
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's close. It's good. It's
I
a
don't
good list.
Rob Zombie's not a thing for me. Like I enjoy his spirit. I enjoy his love and his craft, but I'm not out to see his next movie no matter what. You know, if 3 from Hell had a longer engagement, I would have waited to see it.
Yeah.
But that's not how it turned out. So,
Yeah,
but
I'm glad we did this episode though, because like I had a lot of hatred in Halloween 2, as I think fell through in this episode. But after watching his entire filmography and understanding where he came from and where he is now and everything he has made in between, I respect the guy a lot more. I understand the fan base behind it and what he's doing and what he does for his fans ultimately, because that's who he makes these movies for. He's not going to make them for the critics.
Well, he also makes them for himself too.
But I think him and his fans are pretty much one and the same.
Right.
Though. Anything he would watch is what
Right.
he wants his knows his fans would watch.
Yeah.
So-
No, I respect Rob Zombie, and when I say I don't like a movie and it's not good, it's not like a definitive like it's not good. It's just like it didn't work for me, honestly. And I respect the hell out of the guy for doing his own thing and doing his own vision, even if I don't like it. Like he does his thing.
He wants to make the movie he's going to make.
Yep.
I respect that. So, yeah, that's been the Rob Zombie episode.
That went pretty well, I think.
Yeah. I think we laid down our points of where it is and why very well. And, if you guys, have your own listening out there, send it our way. We want to know what your list is.
I definitely want to hear what other people have to think about Rob Zombie movies.
Yeah, because ultimately I think we're going to get a lot of shit for Devil's Rejects being at 4.
No, I'm going to get a lot of shit for Devil's Rejects number 4.
Yeah. Yeah, I might for stabbing El Super Beasto there, because then I think if the game played out the other way, Rejects would be at number 2.
I think so.
We're both to blame. It's our list.
Yeah.
And we're going to stick to it, though.
Yeah.
So, thank you all once again for listening.
Do you want to talk about the next show?
Yeah, let's talk about it. Next episode, we are gearing into Halloween season. We're going to jump. We got a couple episodes to jump into, but before we get to... We can kind of say what we're going to do going forward.
Yeah, we have a few episodes lined up.
Yeah, so if you want to go ahead, our next episode we are going to be doing is the Child's Play series.
I'm very excited about this one.
And we're going to be doing all of them, much like the Rob Zombie films, and we're going to jump into every single Child's Play movie is on the line for this top 8, including the remake. We're going to be doing Child's Play, except we're not going to be doing it,
We
Blake.
are hands off.
Yes.
We are going to be entirely hands off of this episode. We have a couple of listeners who are going to come in and try apply their trade at this list, and so we're excited to have them on and see where they would rank these movies at. I know I have my list, so I'm really curious to see how that lines up.
Yeah, I do too, but I'm glad I'm sticking out of this one, because I want to see 2 other people duke this series out.
I'm definitely more emotionally involved in this series than I am the Rob Zombie movies, but I'm okay with having people on. I want people to come on and express their opinions and grow.
Yeah,
this
who
horror.
are these said people, Blake?
One of them is Adam. I forget his last name.
Adam Dillenberg.
Adam Dillenberg is going to be here, and then
very vocal on our Facebook. Thank you, Adam.
Yeah. In fact, he's on here because he is such a big shit talker. but that's okay. You know, we like that. You
Yeah.
know?
It's a game, and you got to have that.
You got to be able to take it. You got to be able to take it if you're gonna do it. So I'm excited to have him on, and then his friend and my friend for years. I've known my friend Andre Handy. I've known him since I was about 5 or 6 years old. He actually officiated my wedding last year. He's just a really good friend of mine, big movie guy, and they're gonna him and Adam are gonna go at it, and I cannot wait to see these guys duke it out.
Yeah, so that episode will air October 7th, right in the Halloween season, right around when the Blu-ray drops for the new Child's Play.
Oh, very
when
cool.
it's released on home
Very
media,
cool.
so we kind of planned that out a little bit.
Have you seen the new one?
I have not. That's
Neither
the only
have
one
I.
I haven't, so I will watch it before that episode.
It's the only one I haven't seen, and I'm going to try and watch that along with rewatches of a couple other things.
Yeah,
So,
I'm going to watch that, and I think I got to rewatch number 3. I've seen that the one time, a long time ago, and I think
I remember liking it a lot, but it's been a long time.
After that, we are going to be jumping right into the Halloween season with the Halloween series.
Ooh.
I'm excited for that. Everything, again, is on the line.
Every single movie.
Every movie, the Carpenter original, that original series, the different timelines, the Rob Zombie movies, the David Gordon Green 2018 movie, all of them
I can't wait.
are on the line.
Actually, I think I'm hands off on that list.
You are also hands off on that one.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, you're going to be doing hosting duty for a little while.
Ooh, okay.
On that one, I will be jumping in the ring on that. Mikey, he's my guy. He's my boy.
You're a big fan of the Halloween
I'm
series.
a big fan of the Halloween series. I got Mr. Myers' mask over staring at us this entire time.
Yeah.
And we're going to be joined by a local filmmaker, director, Dominic Winnicky.
I can't wait to have him on.
He is also a big Halloween fan.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we're gonna duke it out. I think we're gonna be pretty copacetic.
You think so?
Yeah.
I hope not.
You hope not?
No.
I think we will. I don't know. There's a definitive number one.
Well, obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah. If someone wants to blow up that list, they certainly can by not putting done number one at number one. But there is one film, and you know which one it is.
Uh-huh.
I'm curious to see where it lands.
Okay. I know where you
Because
would put it.
For me, it'd be. There's no question to be number 2. There's no question. But yeah.
We'll see. We'll see where it goes.
I'm excited. Yeah.
That'll be a fun episode right around the Halloween series, season 2.
Yes.
So, yeah, we got that coming up. One last thing I got to leave off on. If you guys want to be on the show, let us know.
Yeah.
Reach out to us. If you're in the Sioux Falls or South Dakota area, just reach out to us. We, as much as we eventually want to get it to where we can have people from outside of the state, it's more hands-on. You got to be here. You got to experience it.
Yep.
You got to have the cards in your hand. You got to know where the numbers are played on this game. And so if you want to join, please reach out to us on social media. You can find us on social media at the Backlot 605 page on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Or reach out to us on email, backlot605@gmail.com, all lowercase. That's the easiest way you can reach us, or drop a comment on a YouTube video. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. You can find this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and Google Podcast, as well as YouTube. So that's where you can find the show. One last plug, since this does come out, we got a couple things going on the Backlot end. If you're in the Sioux Falls, South Dakota area, not only reach out to us if you want to be on the show, also join us for the Sioux Falls Film Community Meetup. We're doing another meetup here on the 25th at Full Circle Book Co-op, 8 p.m., be there. Come talk to us about this Rob Zombie list. Get up in our face if you think we're wrong.
Please do not get up in our face.
If you look like Rob Zombie, don't get up in our face. But yeah, and then we're also going to be at SuperCon here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, September 27th through the 29th at the Sioux Falls Convention Center. We will be doing a couple of movie screenings there Saturday night and a live podcast of the Backlot main show, joined by Andy from Fat Dude Digs Flicks and the entire crew from Wednesday Comics.
Wow.
6-man group.
What?
Why do we have that big a group? Because it's going to be a big episode. We are going to be doing a comic book style bracket.
How are you going to do with 6 people?
6 people. If there's a unanimous decision, the movie will move on. If we need to jump to the audience for our last and final vote, the audience will be involved.
Wow.
It's going to be a fun episode.
Am I on that one?
You are absolutely.
Oh, my God.
So we're going to have, I think it's going to be fun. We're going to do a full preview on the Backlot 605 main show this week. So we'll talk about it then. We'll discuss some strategies and game plans for it.
I'm not revealing anything.
It's going to be a fun thing.
I don't even know what movies are on the list. I can't wait.
Yeah, it'll be a fun thing. If you're in the Sioux Falls area, come out to SuperCon. It's for a good cause. All the money goes to charity, and we'll have a booth there, and just come hang out and talk movies with us.
Talk to us.
Yeah.
We're lonely all the time.
Yeah, we just like talking movies. Yeah. So if you're listening to this, obviously you do too.
Yeah.
So come say hi.
Yeah.
Come say what's up.
What's up?
What's up? Thank you all once again for listening. This was a ton of fun.
It was.
This is honestly, out of all the list, the one I was most scared to do.
Why is that?
Because it could have gone so many different ways.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Really?
It went pretty much the way I thought it was going to go.
I think if we had someone else on here, this list could have just blown up. And
somebody who was wrong.
Not saying that, but I know people that would put like Halloween at like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And I just wouldn't. And
No,
that's why movies are great and have all these opinions on them. So thank you all once again for listening. Blake, do you have any other plugs or anything you want the people out there to know?
You can follow me on Letterboxd.
Yeah. What's your Letterboxd tag?
It's The Real John G. So TheRealJohNG, like from Memento. Follow me on there. I try to write a little bit of write-up of every movie I do. That's my basic plug. I'm not really on Twitter or anything. You can follow my Instagram. I do movie stuff on there too. Yeah. It's BlakeG5150 on there. Otherwise, if you send me a friend request on Facebook, I'll probably accept it.
Probably. Just don't be a creep.
Yeah, don't be one of those Russian like sex bots or whatever. I don't want nothing to do with that.
No.
So.
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all just Casey Kelderman. Just search for it, you'll find me. I'm also on Letterboxd, Casey Kelderman. I'm really easy to find.
You are.
I don't use any weird names. I'm
sorry.
One-man thing. Yeah. Casey Kelderman. That's it. Nothing wrong. So that's been the episode. Thank you all once again for listening. And what's our fancy sign off for the
Something about don't go in the dark.
Yeah. I think that's it. Oh, thank you all again for listening, and we'll see you next time.
And don't go in the dark.
Dun dun dun.